NFL on EA Sports. On deck, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Atlanta Falcons. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
First opened in 2017, there's a look at the beautiful state-of-the-art Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta, GA. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Detroit Lions and the Atlanta Falcons. Hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin along with Charles Davis. And, Charles, we take a look at this Falcons team as they interplay. They come in off a loss in the opener last week. That one was on the road. Now they get their first taste here of home cooking.
And what they're hoping to do is feed off the energy of the home crowd. Great tailgate, great fan support. Let's see if they can put it to good use.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, they come off a good win in the opener on the road, and they get a second road game here.
Yeah, the schedule makers didn't really do them any favors, but if they can win here and get to 2-0 on the road, they can be well set up for the rest of the year.
The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. As we get a peek at Matt Ryan, a man who's been in the league since back in 2008.
I love just about everything about him. Love his game, love his makeup, love his moxie, one of my favorite words. This guy's a competitor. Gritty, tough, you name it, he's got it. But he did throw an interception in last week's game. That contributed to a loss. And despite the fact he threw 3 touchdown passes, he's going to be out there redoubling his efforts and trying to play better.
Now Ryan on first down. He's going to have the hook up to Gage. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's second down. And here are the Falcon offensive starters.
It's real easy to express how much you love about Julio Jones' game because when you watch him perform, you see a little bit of everything. You see speed, you see strength, you see the power with the run after catch. But what you don't see is the work he puts in during the week, and you also don't see this. A #1 receiver, one of the best in the league, that doesn't act like a diva.
It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll make it third down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. They go play action now. Ryan. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Fielded just inside the 20. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And a glance here at their quarterback, standing 6'3".
And what I enjoyed watching this week when we had a chance to watch them at practice, the easy camaraderie that he has with his offense.
A lot of respect.
A lot of respect, and frankly, I thought it spilled over to the defense. I thought the defensive guys were coming over and teasing and joking with him. You can tell they respect the heck out of him and really want to play well for him.
On first down, Lee to throw. And this one complete to Smith. There he goes left side. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there with touchdown number 7 on the year as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. They scored the most points of anyone on opening weekend, and now first quarter touchdown here.
And while there's no guarantee that all the points they score in opening weekend are going to hold up and be the average all year long, they're certainly starting to set that type of a pace. And what you do with that is you put in the heads of all of your opponents, we've got to really be ready on defense because these guys know how to put the ball in the end zone.
You think they can keep piling on the points like this?
I think they can if they're prepared to adjust and adapt because they won't see the same defenses week in and week out.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing again. Ryan. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Todd Gurley, and now it's 3rd down.
Yeah, good game catching the ball at the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. And now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Well, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. We'll call that a 49-yard punt, but a net of just 39 following the 10-yard return. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They run with Thomas. The numbers for Thomas from last week's effort. 2 trips to the end zone and well past 100 yards.
And going back and watching the film, we saw every kind of run from him, didn't we? We saw some power, we saw finesse, we saw speed, and what I love the most, he finished each and every run.
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
That's a good shot. That's a good shot.
And now the offense for Detroit.
Yeah, I feel a little bad here because we missed out talking about these guys on the opening drive because they were in the end zone before we had a chance to even say anything. But let's keep an eye on these wideouts. QB already has 1 touchdown pass. You know he's looking for a few more before this one's over. Those wideouts will get plenty of opportunities to try and score again.
Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
15
Lee looking to throw on 1st down. He's got Smith here. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A good pickup there, 21 yards. He had the start to a season a week ago that everybody wants to have, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Can he do it a second time?
He can. He absolutely positively can because of his skill set. When people adjust to him, he has a great ability to adjust himself and make them continue to chase him throughout the game.
A gain of 6 there on 1st. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
Flush to his right. He'll get this one to Galladay. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards. clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. Throwing again on second down. Lee, and he's wrapped up. Taken down, back at the 25. Let's see here, Charles. He was sacked 6 times last week. Now a first quarter sack. What's going on in his mind?
Well, he's thinking to himself, 5 offensive linemen. I got sacked 6 times last week. Let's start thinking about keeping extra people in. Tight end stays in. If I have a fullback or the running back, they stay in and help me block. Maybe not as many receivers in a pattern. Anything to try and slow down that pass rush.
Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble. They'll run on first down. Thomas. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. Right now in the National Football League, they're ranked number 18 against the pass.
And it's really difficult to prepare for this team. This is the number 1 overall passing team in the NFL, but it shouldn't be hard to get excited about playing against them. The ultimate test going against that unit.
And that's why you and I are excited to broadcast this game.
Yes, sir.
On second down, it's Thomas. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Dancing to it, and he will score. Touchdown, Lions. It's their quarterback. His 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. He hit him earlier in this first quarter with his arm. Now he does it with his legs.
Right now, he's one of those stat stuffers that you see on the basketball court. You know, the guy with points, rebounds, assists, steals. One with the arm, one with the legs. Let's see if he can continue this pace.
And sending out the reminder that, yeah, look, I'm known for having an arm, but I can do it with the legs on occasion when I need to.
Let's go. Do it.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage. And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10.
18 Gator. Tupper.
On first down, Thomas. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Flushed out right, and only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or 2. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future all-pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
And you take a look at this draft. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Grady Jarrett making his presence felt. He gets the sack.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And this will pin him nicely inside the 20 as it's out of bounds at about the 14-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
Now on second down, this is Gurley. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The Falcons on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Now it's Ryan. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Boom! That's all done.
Well, that's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
Fielded just inside the 30. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. First down Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain. The offense on third down tonight, they've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. They're looking at third in the nose of the football. He's got his man, T.J. Hockenson. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. T.J. Hockenson. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Extra point right down the middle. And it's now 21-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again on offense, we get a peek at Julio Jones now. Looking down at the stats here, realizing he has no catches. They targeted him twice, but no catches. So how do they get him more involved, Charles?
You make sure he touches it on routes that he likes to run, maybe even run a reverse or some type of a jet sweep so he gets his hands on the ball and get him active and involved in the game. You just try and find ways to get him going, and it doesn't have to be something that's big downfield.
Maybe kind of like in basketball, just a shooter seeing the ball go through, you get him a rep. get him more comfortable.
I agree with that totally. Maybe set that solid screen and give him an easy look.
Well, to this point, no catches. On third down, Ryan. Now he's going to send this one deep right side. And got his man complete. And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. For an offense that has not found the end zone yet, that's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
Todd Gurley, wave goodbye. Touchdown, Falcons. Todd Gurley, his second touchdown on the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Isaiah Oliver with the INT. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line. That's not one that he's going to want to remember, but he had to get it out of the way at some point, his first career interception.
And if he's the guy that they think he is, he's not laughing it off, but he's also not going to let it affect him as the game proceeds. He's going to go back out there, still be the same confident kid, the reason that they drafted him, and go out and play.
Todd Gurley and the offense, they get set and trot back out there now. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff?
Yeah.
Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Here's Ryan. And that is incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
Give them a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Shift. 49, check 49, check 49.
Back to throw, Lee. Looking here for Smith downfield. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. 89 yards. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. He put quite a bit of air underneath that touchdown pass. Of course, we knew that he had the strong arm.
That part was easy. You could see that throughout his college career. But what you want to know about a rookie is when the pressure's on, can you throw with touch? He just did right there. And, boy, it was pretty.
Point after, right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They trail here by 24 points. Got to get going soon, you'd have to think, as they come up 1st and 10. Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start out on the ground with Gurley. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Now a draw play for Gurley. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
It's a team game, but sometimes individuals do stand out, don't they? How about that for a twofer? Tackle for the loss on the running play on the previous down, and then comes right back and gets a sack.
Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. That's taken on the 25. So a change of possession here on the punt. So here are the Lions to take over. They're leading right now and on the heels of that victory last week against Arizona. 1st and 10 as they start this drive. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
Wahoo!
Lee out of the gun. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season. To throw is Lee on 3rd down. Over the middle, complete. That's Vaughn. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 1st down, Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup. Here's Lee on 1st and 10. Steps away, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. After the sack, here's 2nd and 11. Lee escaping the pressure right, and now he's going to use his legs. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down. And for the Falcons, 5 men in the secondary, now on 3rd.
Let's go, D.
Lee now, operating from the gun. The open man is Smith. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 11 yards there and a Lion 1st down. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin.
And this is caught. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. As his guys are in for 6. And the Lions are able to extend their lead.
So whatever happened to rookie quarterbacks taking time to adjust to life in the NFL? Because this guy looks like he's been doing it for about, 7 years? 4 touchdown passes? That's not something rookies are supposed to be doing with the ease in which he's doing it.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the route is on here in this first half. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field.
And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw again, Ryan. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. Jones has it, and he's going to come up a bit short. He needed to get to the 35 for the first, but he only makes it to the 34. Here's Pat O'Donnell now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows the punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
30 seconds remain in this first half as they come up here 1st and 10. From the shotgun, here's Lee. Complete. Smith has it. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. A big play there as the first half is winding down, as his guys continue to pour it on.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll start up in the Steel City, Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. And it's the Steelers out in front in the second quarter. Deontay Johnson, a touchdown reception. Next, we'll head over to check on the Giants at home at MetLife Stadium. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting LA Chargers. Sterling Shepard, 2 touchdown catches on the afternoon. Finally, let's get down to the Bayou. Check on the Saints at home at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. And they were winners in that one as they take care of the visiting Chicago Bears. Alvin Kamara, a touchdown run in the victory. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. This fielded at the 2. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Update now from a game going on in Pittsburgh. Early lead in that one for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers with 1 touchdown pass thus far.
Hey, Echo. Shoot.
Now Lee on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Tyler Davison hauling it off the edge to sack him. So they come out of the locker room trailing, but plays like that, they won't be trailing much longer. Defense really starting out well this second half.
Yeah, they knew they had to jumpstart things a little bit. They really struggled in the first half.
Oh, wide open, complete. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. 78 yards as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. And that's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long,
Backyard.
man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start the drive with Gurley. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13. After the 1st down run goes backwards. Again they run with Gurley. Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week, he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week, he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. In for the sack, Deion Jones.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
He's going to loft one deep left side, and that's caught inside the 35. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. It's a big play there for the Lions. 54 yards. Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They went zooming past that number there. He's lucky to be getting that one back.
After what they've done with him all day long with all the targets trying to go after him, he's obviously gotten smart and his pride has kicked in. Made a terrific play.
Throwing again here on 2nd down, this time complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. The Lions passing game in sync now. They've got another 1st down. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see.
He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. A 9-yard touchdown grab as his guys continue to pour it on.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor in effect.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They run. It's Gurley. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave them with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drop. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the 4th quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
No problem there on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Time to establish the run game here. Gurley. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Ready, blue 80. Back 25.
Yo, 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 yo.
All right, 25 tonight.
Now flags come flying in. One of the Falcons moved early.
Offense.
Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
Following the penalty, it's Gurley. He's able to get 4 back on the run, but now they'll have to find something here on 3rd and about 14.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. Trey Flowers, the former Arkansas Razorback, in there to get him.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Well, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of it. A great return there of 22 yards. And the Lions will have excellent field position here as they take over 1st and 10. And Detroit getting set to go now. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads
true.
will be fairly clear
by
the time we have to
positive.
leave the booth. Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
From the 36, Lee out to the left there and complete to the tight end, Hawkinson. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. An excellent pickup of 20 yards. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Lee from the gun, he'll throw. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. from 10 yards out as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. So that drive, 4 plays, and the end result, a Detroit touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Here comes a 20th carry for Gurley. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Another carry now for Gurley. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Continues to be a struggle for this offense and this home crowd. They're going a little restless here in the second half.
And I think they've just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of runs and give you a little more space.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 14 yards there and a Falcon 1st down.
First and 10 at the 41-yard line.
On 1st down, it's Gurley. Trey Flowers there on the tackle. Back now in Atlanta. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Ryan. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a gain of 11, and the Falcons pick up the 1st. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 46. From the gun, it's Ryan. It's complete to Jones. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 10 yards there and a 1st down for the Falcons. Ryan now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Here's Ryan to throw. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Ryan. Open receiver. That's Hayden Hurst, the tight end. And it's going to be another 1st down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions 16. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
And that time, the tackle by Malik Hooker. To throw on 2nd and 6. Ryan, that's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
I'm coming after you.
3rd and 2, now Ryan. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Malik Hooker. Facing this 4th quarter deficit, felt like they had to throw the ball, and on the other side, they were ready.
No doubt about it. They're playing situational football. They look at the clock, they know the lead that they have, and all they're doing is playing pass on every down.
Playing the pass, picking it off, and now big time in the driver's seat.
Here we go.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
It'll be a 3-yard gain.
Check right. Hey, exit. Blue draw Corkers.
On first down, Lee to throw. And he's going to be taken down. Sacked back at the 2. Credit that sack to Dante Fowler Jr.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. They could put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
And he's taken down, but able to get this up to the 20-yard line. First down for the Lions on a nice pickup of 18 yards. So the previous play, a big help, as now they'll have it 1st and 10 up at the 20. From the gun, Lee. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. They'll run it now out of the gun. And it's a fumble, and the Falcons grab it. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. Not the trend you wanted to start the season with a fumble lost in both weeks 1 and 2. Now, it's not a disaster, but certainly.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
No, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out, and no one wants to go back to those memories. But, you know, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that... You know, a team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL, in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously, that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams.
Yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from the first one and blew out the Seahawks.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Thomas, and he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier in this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you have something about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. Second and 5 now. Lee. Maybe not exactly what they had in mind, but that scramble good for 6 and a 1st down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. Throwing here, Lee, and this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Ryan. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. To throw again on 2nd down. Ryan, he completes it to Jones. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 23. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. Ryan in the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's hit on all 5 of his pass attempts on this drive so far. One last shot for Ryan. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. One final shot. They'll look to throw. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Detroit, it's a dream start. 2 wins in 2 early road games. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll try to get back on the beam next week as they'll head to Tampa to take on the Bucs. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.